Okay, we're going to continue שער קדושה, שערי קדושה, חלק ב', שער ד', but character trait, we're going to talk about עצבות, depression. Also, עצבות גורמת מניעת העבודה. The depression causes a person to be prevented from service of Hashem. מקיום המצוות, and fulfilling the mitzvot. וביטול עסק התורה, and learning Torah. וכוונת התפילה, and having good intention and kavanah in your tefillah and prayer. ומבטל מחשבות טובה, also it negates and destroyed a good thought. לעבוד את Hashem, in order to serve Hashem. והיא שער התחלת גירוי הסוטת היצר הרע. And it's a gateway, it's the beginning when that entice the what? Turns away Yetzer hara in you. Bring Yetzer hara into invite Yetzer hara in. אפילו אם הוא צדיק, even if he's a pious person, בראותו כי אין לו תועלת בעבודה בהיות ייסורים עליו. When he sees and becomes appear to him, כי אין לו תועלת, it doesn't have any effect in his service of Hashem, בהיות ייסורים עליו, because he has a lot of hardship. וגם כי בא עליו בדרך חסידות באמור לו, even if you kind of like act in a way of piety and says, איך יעלה בדעתך עפר רימה ותולעה להתחדש בקדושת מלכות של עולם. And he kind of brings himself down and says, how would you think that you are afar, you are a dust, רימה ותולעה, you are like a worm and maggot. How could you get close to the creator of the world? כמו שכתוב, רמות לאוויל חוכמות is unattainable for the full knowledge. That means kind of like the Sahara tells him that you're not worthy, basically. You know, somebody that's kind of like, you're not worthy to get to the high levels of Avodat Hashem. כמו שכתוב, פסוק איוב said, ואם צדקת, מה תיתן לו? If you do good thing and the righteous thing, what do you give to Hashem? This is what the Sahara talks to you about. You know, it doesn't matter, you know, what you do. So might as well not do it. גם גורמת סילוק רוח הקודש מעליו. It's עצבות and depression also cause for Ruach HaKodesh to be departed from the person. Just we learn from Yaakov Avinu, you know, when he was upset about Yosef, Ruach HaKodesh went away from him. וההפך בהיותו עובד השם יתברך בשמחה. And the opposite is true too. If you serve Hashem בשמחה, with joy, with happiness, כמו שכתוב, פסוק in Tehillim said, עבדו השם בשמחה, you have to serve Hashem with happiness. כי השמחה מוסיפה חשק רב, because the happiness add and increases the desire. אהבה להתאבק בו, and also love that you have to cling to Hashem. וכתיב, פסוק in חומש תחת שלא עבדת השם אלוהיך בשמחות ולבב. All the kilalot that comes in Parashat Kilalot says that why all these kilalot come? Because you didn't serve Hashem with simcha. He doesn't say that you didn't serve Hashem at all. You did. You did serve Hashem, but not with simcha u'lavav, with the gladness of heart. Ki avodah im hi beitzavon, because the service of Hashem, if it's done with the decay, with the depression, with the sadness, domel le'eved, it's like a servant. Ha'ovel rabbo bepanim atzvot v'zoafot. It's like an eved. It's like a servant that serves his master, but with the annoyed and basically sad face. Uchti b'mishleh, the Pasuk in Mishleh says, Birkat Hashem hi ta'ashir. The blessing of the Hashem is what makes you rich. V'lo yostif etzev imah. And it doesn't increase sadness with it. כי העצבון הוא נמשך מזוהמת סמ"ם. Because the itzavon, the depression and the sadness, drawn down from the contamination of what? סמ"ם and nachash. שהטילה באדם וחווה, that they injected into Adam וחווה. After they said that, you know, they said that this is like a something that was like inserted into them. כמו שכתוב באדם, pasuk in Bereshit says, "Be'itzavon tochelena, with sadness you shall eat." Uchtiv sham be'etzev teldi banim. That also with sadness and with the pain you have to give birth. ועל ידי כך הקדוש ברוך הוא שכינתו מסתלקים מעליו. If somebody acts this way, הקדוש ברוך הוא and his Shekhinah get withdrawn from him. והראיה, prove מיעקב. That's what we mentioned earlier, and he brings it here. Prove from Yaakov. Bechir ha'avot, the choice of all the fathers, Zalekha mimenu Shekhinah, that departed from him Shekhinah v'Ruach Kodesh, 22 shana, 22 years, sheprashesed mimenu, when he was separated from Yosef. Ukshessamah b'fsurato, when he got rejoiced and happy from the tidings, from the news that Yosef was alive, Uchtib, Pasuk says, but Techir Ruach Yaakov, it's like revive, become alive, the spirit of Yaakov. Shisharta alav Ruach Kodesh, that rested upon him again Ruach Kodesh. Rabbi Zal, Mascheh Pesachim. En Shekhinah ve'en Nevuah Shora lo mitoch atzvut. Megish Shekhinah and Nevuah, the prophecy doesn't dwell on somebody not when he's upset and depressed. V'chem matzinu be'Elisha. Also is found in Elisha, ובבני נביאים דכתיב, ספר מלכים says, והיה כנגן המנגן. They like play like a musician, because when you play like a music, kind of like lift up your spirit. וכתיב, also Shemuel Aleph says, ולפניהם תוף וחליל וכינור. And leading in front of them was tuf, drum, the khalil is a flute, the kinor is a harp, the hema mitnabeim, and then they were able to prophesy. Like after they kind of like they get some music, they kind of like were able to prophesy. Even in all the other service of mitzvot and commandments and praise of Hashem, he has to be in the ultimate state of joy. Just like we find in Abaye, Masechet Berachot says, Dahava badia tuba. And he was joyful a lot. Amar and said, Tefillin ka menachna. Why was he so happy? Because he put on tefillin. That means that the kiyum of the mitzvot itself should be uplifting for us and make us happy. Also Rab Bruna, Mishum de Samach Yolad Tfilah. Why he was so happy? Because he kind of like, right after Shema, he said Shemona Esrei. Samach Yolad Tfilah. Lo pasak chucha, a smile didn't depart mipume kol ha'uyoma. From his face all that day. He was happy the whole day. That means that you have to start with being happy, and when you fulfill the mitzvot, in that state, it should add to your happiness more and more. Okay, the next step is sin'ah, hatred. We can leave that for next week with Hashem.